We are recording. Hello, hello.
What's up? Welcome to Badass Branding Blab. We got my co-host with the most, Bortone, and today, oh my God, we got Anna Bennett from White Glove Social Media. And
sweet.
I have to say, little rant, little story. I know so many of us when we're starting out, and we see these people that are fucking amazing. And we think like, well, I don't know what I have to do to get them to pay any attention to me. And I just have to say that was Anna for me. Like, she is a lady boss that's like, she doesn't fuck around. She's like, I'm about work. Like, I'm about getting shit done. I'm not about pretending that I'm doing shit. I'm not doing, like, she is so real. And she is so just like, she's the definition of a lady boss. And so when this broad was like, hey, I wanted to talk to you about maybe making you part of my course, I'm like, I'm sorry, did you get the wrong name here? It was just so awesome. She was one of the first people that for no damn good reason, like, just gave me time. She sat down for an hour and like kicked my ass into some real business shit. Like, I just have to say, like, this is the real shit. Like, these are the people. They don't care about your vanity numbers and your email list size and all this shit. They care about, are you real? Are you authentic? Are you kicking ass? Are you doing the work yourself? Like, I'm not going to help you unless you're ready to help yourself. Like, but when you do, these are the kind of people that you get. Like, no joke. Anna was just like that one that blew me out of the water. So, long rant short, she is the authority on Pinterest. Like I said, she's got high, big name brand clients that she manages accounts for, that she trains. She's Pinterest certified, which I didn't even know they could do that.
Yeah, I didn't even think
I don't think they even tell you unless you're cool enough to be certified. But this girl is just the shit. So I had to say that, Anna, like, you have just been a ray of sunshine for me since the second I launched the Branded Solopreneur, and you kick ass. And I'm so grateful for you for giving us some time today. Yeah,
thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Such kind words, all the fluffery.
It's true, though. It's just like, why is she talking to me? And I'm like, oh my God, she's super cool. Like, are we in the fucking Twilight Zone? Like, It was very cool. So, yeah, so obviously we're going to be talking about Pinterest today, and we're going to get the good, the bad, and the ugly out of Anna, because that's how we like to do it. And also, hopefully, put your questions in the chat log if you have any, and maybe at the end we'll even bring you on. So, hello, Anna. Long rant out of the way. All right, so let's just hit this. Why Pinterest?
Why Pinterest?
Yeah, why? Why do we care? What is it going to do? Like, why are you so all about Pinterest? What is it? What happened?
Well, Andrea, we had this conversation the first time we chatted, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but Pinterest is really not a social media network. So let's get that straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Preach it, girl. Preach it.
Although it's classified as one, it really isn't. I have a very pragmatic approach when it comes to business and all things life. Okay. So, really, any business, brand, blogger, really, if you want to rank high on Google, you should be on Pinterest. Many businesses really don't realize that Pinterest can help you rank on the first page of Google.
I didn't know that.
Under your most important keywords, because obviously it's about keywords, right? So what that means to brands and bloggers is just more traffic and free traffic to your website. So, as an example, by evidence, just type in Pinterest expert and Pinterest consultant. You are going to see my Pinterest account.
Cool.
Before you'll see my website, like my website URL. Wow. Yeah. So that's an evidence. So that's how I get busy, because, at the end of the day, people still use Google to look for your products and services. So from a pragmatic point of view, that's why Pinterest is really cool for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. You told, this is exactly what she schooled me on. She's like, this is not a platform that you pin pretty shit, okay? You have strategy. Okay, and it's all about keywords. And I was like, preach it, girl. Like, kick my ass. Yeah, but you were right. I mean, dude, as soon as I did, and I really approached Pinterest with strategy, and I keyworded my shit up, oh my, it was night and day for me as far as repins, traffic, and ranking my own boards. Like you taught me like this creative naming shit of your board, like it's whack. Nobody's searching for like super cool visuals. It's like that's not what they're searching for, right?
What? You can't just put grandma's stew recipe up there?
Probably the stew, yeah, that might be a good keyword, but I'm not sure about grandma.
Grandma, yeah.
See, this is why I love her, because she's actually like, well, stew, if that's a word
stew.
that you're actually, she's like, it could.
So in that regard, it's kind of like YouTube. It's like I tell people, if you don't use the right tags and keywords on your YouTube video, don't bother posting the YouTube video. Is it the same deal with Pinterest?
Exactly. I mean, if you haven't even figured out your keywords yet, don't even get on Pinterest. Because it's all about keywords, you know. I mean, there's probably about over 75, some number like that on Pinterest, and they brought in like a bunch of people from Google. I mean, that tells you something. They just hired some, you know, big executive from Google just the last couple of weeks as well. And really, bottom line is, you know, Pinterest, the way you use it is all about keywords, because that's what people do. They go in there, they type in those keywords just like, you know, they would do on Google. Yeah.
It's so true, especially with that new search, right? I mean, that's really the keyword. So it's like if you put color in, it's like palette, and it gives you kind of like, it helps you pick those keywords, right?
Yeah, like it's called the guided search tool. So there's the Pinterest search engine, and then there's the guided search tool. There's two different ways that you can do search. And if you know how to use it properly, you can even identify what's a better keyword than what you're probably using right now to rank high on Google. There's a lot of signs to that. You know, I've got clients that say, okay, so I asked them, so what are your most important keywords? Give me your top 3 that you perform the best on Google. So I go on Pinterest, I do my little magic, and then I'll tell them, well, you know, you may want to consider another keyword that falls under your category, because that's what's really, really hot right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think people approach Pinterest with enough strategy. I mean, I think that's really where you kicked my ass, is that it is about optimizing it and showing up in search. And I think that Pinterest is rivaling in a lot of ways Google. I mean, a lot of times when I'm looking for something, I go search Pinterest before I go search Google. And so we have to take that same mindset that algorithms work the same way, and search results are coming up, and ranking matters, and all of this stuff. Like, if you really want to be found on Pinterest. So I think we've segued into this a lot, but okay. First question I always like to start. What's the 3 biggest mistakes you see people making on Pinterest?
Well, there's a handful of mistakes I see people do.
Yeah,
but there's only so many minutes in this session. So, you know, the first thing is, again, about the keywords, right? You know, don't even get on there until you figure out what your keywords are. And again, Pinterest is not a social media network. Don't treat it like you want to have conversations with your friends. So in terms of those, you know, making comments and liking the image, you want to get people's attention. That doesn't work. Forget that. And if you're going to commit to Pinterest, commit fully. Don't just wing it. You know, work with somebody who knows what they're doing. You know, why? You know, the way I look at it, like, for example, when it comes to, say, if I wanted to be a blogger, I mean, take a course on how to be a blogger. I mean, you know, why reinvent the wheel when someone's already done all that work for you? And again, with images, you know, just make sure that you really have aspirational images. You know, 97% of Pinterest users use Pinterest really to plan their lives. They want to, you know, they gather information. So, you know, if especially, you know, the audience is primarily millennial moms. I'm not saying them, you know, that's the majority of the users. So if you want to target millennial moms, then you need to understand what their behavior is on Pinterest. So for them, if you fall under certain categories, like say home decor, you want to, you know, start a nursery, first day birthdays, you know, all that kind of stuff, even planning a wedding. I think any really big events, you know, like wedding or graduation, any important events that people are going through in their lives, they're using Pinterest for that purpose.
Yeah,
cool.
I agree.
So Anna, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
One of the things I like about Pinterest is that some people don't know is that you can also post videos. Is that a good strategy? Is it just another place to post videos, or does it work just as well as images if you tag it properly and keyword it?
Yeah, you know, they have what you called cinematic pins on Pinterest, but I don't even see them really that often. I find that videos don't get a lot of engagement. So what you need to do is probably, you know, create an image. So you have a base of, like, say 735, you know, to 1102 pixels, right? And then, you know, put a text overlay on there, put an image of what the video looks like. So I would recommend that you create an image, like I said, take a snapshot of your YouTube video, have a text overlay, and that will do well, because when you just pin a video, it comes up really tiny and it's not very visually appealing. It's not intimidating. It doesn't make you drool. That's what I would do.
So basically create like a thumbnail, a big Pinterest visual. So play to the platform's strengths rather than just say, I'm going to toss a video up there.
Bingo.
Yeah, that's what she would call lazy shit. Okay, she probably won't say it on here, Lou, but she would call you lazy if you just post your video and you don't make an image.
Well, obviously, but...
So you were talking about, and I know everybody kind of thinks this, which I am so sick of hearing, that Pinterest is only for women. I think it's bullshit. I think men are totally on it and more on it. But is there certain industries or certain types of products or something that aren't good for Pinterest?
Okay, so let's just get back to the men. Actually, you know what? There was more signups for men last year on Pinterest than there was.
That's what I heard.
So that's just to let you know that men are definitely jumping.
Oops.
Uh-oh, where'd she go?
We lost her.
Oh, no.
Hopefully she'll be up. There we go.
Okay. So I just
here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got it.
Okay. So in terms of verticals, so Pinterest lists like 33 categories. So if you fall under one of those categories, then you should be on Pinterest. So they actually list them.
Where's that? Is that like the beginning list? I didn't think that was 33.
Yeah. So if you go on your profile page, on the top right corner, you'll see like these 3 gray lines. And if you click on that, it shows the categories in alphabetical order.
Okay.
So if you fall under one of those categories, then you should definitely be on Pinterest. But here's the thing to really make it quick. If you're selling products and if you have a lot of images, get on Pinterest. If you're a blogger, get on Pinterest.
Yeah.
And if you know what, if you're a business and you only have, say, maybe a couple of products, you better be blogging.
Yeah.
Because you need to drive content to your website. So if all you have are just a couple of images, well, you know, you're not going to get anywhere. So I'd say don't even bother with Pinterest if you're not going to get serious about, you know, creating images.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And everybody should be blogging anyway, like you said. There's not like some don't do it if you're marketing to men and you don't. It's just like figure out if you have the right content and figure out if your category. I mean, because for me, there's actually not like I don't think a design category or anything. Like I wasn't really sure like where the hell branding would go, but since Pinterest is like by far my number one driver, obviously, like I need to stay on Pinterest.
Well, see, that's the interesting thing is that sometimes your business can fall under a couple of categories.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yep.
If I were you, I would create a couple of boards so that you've covered each category.
Yep. That's
so
good.
that you're not missing any, you know, leads or
not leaving anything on the table.
Yeah, exactly.
So then the big question I had, because Dre said, I saw she mentioned earlier that she had a shit ton of followers and signups from Pinterest. How did you migrate, or how would you migrate those people from Pinterest back to your website or blog?
Can you be a little bit more specific? So,
well, like, how do you get Pinterest, people that are looking at Pinterest, basically, how do I get them kind of on my list?
Well, you know what? I know, Dre, you did a promoted pin, right? On one of your opt-in offers to get an email list. Pinterest is amazing for that. I've done the same thing. So that's what you do, create an image. Yeah, that'll show what you're offering, whether it's an ebook, whether, I give away my chapter 1 for free from my Pinterest Marketing for Business course, and when you click on that image, it goes back to my website, and that's how I collect emails.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. I think I got I was telling Lou, it was a little over 4,000 people on my list got on from one promoted pin. Just from one that I did.
Wow.
So, and that's, that's good shit. Yeah. And that's, I'm converting, and that's coming in freelance business and that sort of stuff. So, and the click-throughs are crazy. Like the rates. I mean, they make Facebook look like that's the lap of luxury. I'm like, holy fuck, $2 for a click? Like, what?
That's how much they were charging you, just two cents for a click for that?
No, mine were at 6 or 7 cents. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's amazing. Facebook is like a couple fucking dollars a click.
Yeah. Well, let's keep in mind that Pinterest is fairly new, right? I mean, it's got over 1 billion gazillion users.
Well, and they also are only in the U.S. right now for advertising.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
For ads. So any recommendations in terms of images themselves? I mean, there are certain images that attract or engage or convert better than others.
Okay, well, so in terms of products, if you're into products, if you're selling products, really, you want to show off lifestyle images. So if say you're selling a sewing machine, don't just show an image of the sewing machine.
Yeah.
Show an image of somebody actually using your sewing machine. And that can get costly, right? I mean, can you imagine a photo shoot of, you get a model, you get a location. It can get really costly, for small businesses. But you know what? I'm sorry. That's just what it takes to win on Pinterest. If you're, again, a B2B, again, if you're not selling product, you're service oriented, then you do need to have a blog. Yeah. So, you just have an image. I mean, you see this a lot, Dre, where, you just have a text overlay of, what your blog is about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really easy. Simple. Exactly. And my tip is to make the writing big enough, right? I mean, if I see one more image that's the right size, 735 by 1102, and then the text is this much of it, it's like, what the fuck are you using the rest of the real estate for? Like, get with it. So it drives me up a wall. I'm just like, what? It's like having a house and having the whole, like, living in only the bathroom. You're like, what the hell are you doing? It's very bizarre to me that they're not using the whole real estate that they have.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about the don't do's. Like, what are the 3 things? And I know keyword's going to probably be one, but what are the 3 things that someone should do right away that's going to help their exposure on Pinterest?
Well, what I see are images that aren't branded. So it's either, you either need to have your logo or just your website URL, like in the bottom left corner or right corner. But brand your images. Make sure that your images is really consistent with your whole branding. So if you want to have sort of this hazy look on your, images, then be consistent with that, right? Oh my God, especially when it comes to fonts, like just work with a couple of fonts. I see
now you're hitting on my ramp, girl, because hell to the yeah. It's like, do not puke color or fonts on everything. Like, give me a fucking break. And stop going into Canva and trying new fonts, right? Like, pick a font.
Well, that I don't want to take any business away from you, Dre. And same with me. But Canva has a new service, which is for business.
Right.
So I think it's like, I don't know, $12 a month, and you can upload already your logo. You can upload your own fonts, right?
Oh, I'm all for it. That ain't taking none of my business away, because I want people to be able to do it themselves. What people misunderstand about having the ability to do it themselves is that they're going to do it right. Like, Canva does not make you a designer. So if you don't have the fonts and shit loaded in there, it's not going to make up for that. And so, you have to have the style guy ready, because I think that's the secret sauce to Pinterest, and probably, Instagram too, the more visual, is brand recognition. I mean, we know that there's like 10 to 20 brands on there that it's like a mile away. They could have no watermark, no logo. Yours is one of them, Anna. You know it. And that is so much of the secret sauce of Pinterest, is being recognized in this big feed of images. If you are consistent, that will help your visibility.
Right, exactly. So second, you want to have evergreen content. So what I mean by that is content that people, helpful content for people all year round. Don't just be, spend all your time and money, blogging about, St. Patrick's Day, because it's coming up next month. Like, come up with a content that that people are going to use all year round. And when you create a blog post, create 5-10 different images for that blog post. I'm not saying that you want to stuff all of those images into the blog post, and then just spread out those images. Like, say, one image you're going to use this week, the following week you can use a different image. Change your pin descriptions around. That way people think, oh, it's new content, but actually it really isn't, right?
Yeah.
You just,
absolutely.
Because it's like I said, at the end of the day, most people really don't have, the budget for hiring a full-time graphic artist.
Right.
But really, if you don't know how to do something, I say, talk to your contacts. I mean, I've reached out to you, Dre, about, hey, do you know any top beauty bloggers out there? And, reach out to people who know what they're doing, and ask them, what's the quickest way to learn this stuff? I mean, seriously, if you take a course for $100, $200, I mean, seriously, if it means you learning this stuff in a matter of a couple of hours, 4 hours, I mean, that's just, you gotta be practical, right?
Yeah, you have to be ready to invest in your business. Your business ain't gonna become 6 figures on a $5 a year budget. Like, that's not what's not gonna happen. So
time is money. And then last, on Pinterest, you have what you call your username, which is like your Pinterest URL. A lot of times what I see people do is they use their company name, or just some crazy letters with numbers. You probably see that a lot on YouTube, right? Okay. So what you need to do is you want to make sure that you're using keywords on your username.
Yep. That was a huge, when Anna said that, she's like, nobody's searching Dre Beltrami. I'm like, yeah, they're not.
Nobody's searching
Brandy.
Yeah.
So what would your name be then? Like Dre Beltrami?
No, mine is badass branding, because I mean, you have a certain amount of symbols, but her thing was your branding. It needs to have branding in the name. So, and I'm just not a huge fan of that whole expert thing, so I didn't want to be the branding expert. So, and my brand is so built around the whole badass moniker. So mine's badass branding.
Yeah.
And I have to say, this was Anna told me, and this is this, I swear to God, this was gold. We talked for an hour, and this was one of the best things. The keyword needs to be in that username. It needs to be in your name.
Yes.
It needs to be in your description. And she's like, if you could fit it in twice in your description without sounding spammy, and I totally did. You'd be so proud. I totally did that, Anna. And it needs to be in every pin you do. And that really, that was it. I hate the phrase game changer, but it really, that that started me off. Like that gave me serious momentum on Pinterest. And I think you nailed it at the beginning, Anna. People aren't strategic about it. It's like, I'm just going to pin and it's pretty shit. And there's no strategy to it.
Yeah.
And I think people can't afford that.
They don't know, right? You know, and I think this is why, you know, platforms like this, where you're talking just a few minutes about, you know, Pinterest or YouTube or branding. I mean, you pick up, you know, a few things here and there. I mean, it's really, really helpful. So, you know, I really appreciate you guys, you know, going out of your way, out of your busy time, you know, doing stuff like this to help people.
Absolutely. Same back to you. So the time went by super fast, but I want to give you a chance to shamelessly plug whatever the fuck you like. Because this is the time of the show when we just like hand it over to you and tell people where they can find you and what good stuff you have for them.
Okay, I don't expect you to remember my name, but just go on Google, just type in Pinterest expert or Pinterest consultant, and you will see me. Really, let's just be, there people are not going to remember my name, and that's okay with me.
I love her. Why do they need to? Put in Pinterest expert and get the fuck over it.
That's beautiful.
Has a fantastic course. She has tons of free resources, and her articles, again, I love Anna because they're not fluff. She gives you real strategy, all implementable, all actionable. So go over to the blog. It's whiteglovesocialmedia.com, correct?
Exactly. And you know what, Dre? I'm gonna be really. I'm really not gonna be blogging so much.
I'm right there with you. Girl.
Yeah, I'm at that point now where it's like I'm past giving so much free content out there.
No, I agree. And that's the thing. Here's where I am, and I think it's the same place. It's like we have tons of free shit. If like dive into that by all means, like that's why it's there. But now it's time to make paid offers. And like I said, if you're operating on a $5 a year budget, then spend 242 fucking hours learning it. Other than instead of the 3 hours, you can learn it for $100. But definitely, if Pinterest is your thing, go follow her on Pinterest, because I just stalk the shit out of her and just reverse engineer everything she does and basically just steal your shit for free, Anna. So go follow her on Pinterest. Go check out White Social Media or whiteglovesocialmedia.com. Thank you, ladies, seriously, for coming. I know you're busy, and I really,
thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see at the same time, same place next week.
Nice to meet you.
Bye. Nice meeting you. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye-bye.